Well, hello again, vinyl community. After making some videos about some kind of esoteric albums, I wanted to get back to the real classic rock stuff and dig into my 45 boxes and show some records by the one of the absolute greatest of the classic rock bands of all time, The Who. And I have a lot of records to show, so I'll get right down into it, starting chronologically with My Generation. This copy is from Denmark, and it's on the Brunswick label. B-side is Shout and Shimmy. Back of the sleeve is just white. And here is the Brunswick label. So most of the 45s I have to show today will be from France or Germany, such as this copy of Substitute. This is from Germany. Substitute backed with Waltz for a Pig. And very young looking Who there. On the Polydor International label. And a somewhat similar looking sleeve. This is from Sweden. I'm a Boy, backed with In the City, and you notice on the back they're advertising the Swedish version of Substitute, Waltz for a Pig. This is one of those fold-over type sleeves. So I have the record in a plain white sleeve to protect it. This is just one sheet of paper folded over that the record originally came in on Polydor. And next, the single that The Who did to support the Rolling Stones when they were having their legal troubles. This is a French copy in a hard cardboard sleeve of The Last Time, backed with Under My Thumb, The Who's Stones covers with their little notice of support on the front in English and then translated into French on the back. I won't show all the labels of the Polydor ones, those are pretty generic. Also from France, also in a nice card sleeve, pictures of Lily EP with I Need You, Doctor Doctor, and Run Run Run. And on the back side, ads for other French EPs. This is kind of a similar run to those Animals EPs from France that I showed in a previous video. Also from France, Call Me Lightning. B-side is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And from Germany, Dogs, with the B-side of Circles. This is probably one of the most obscure Who singles. When was the last time you heard Dogs on the radio? Classic Rock Radio is going to play you a song about greyhound racing by The Who. Magic Bus, backed with Bucket Tea. This is another one from Germany. B-side is the same, except that it's badly damaged. No one said they were all going to be mint. Finally, from the USA, Pinball Wizard, from the soon-to-be-released rock opera Tommy, 1914-1984. They give that as actually the subtitle of the album. B-side is Dogs Part 2. This, of course, is on Decca, being the US edition. Get that right side up. And I don't know if you can see that this has a cutout hole drilled through it, drilled right through the sleeve as well, right there. And another copy of Pinball Wizard, this time from Germany. Rather nicer, I think, than the US edition. And again, the back of the sleeve is identical to the front. And again from Germany, Summertime Blues from Live at Leeds album, with Heaven and Hell on the flip side. Great live shot on the sleeve. The Seeker, this version from France. And the B-side is the Roger Daltrey composition, Here for More. Rare that he got to write a song for The Who. Another version of The Seeker, this time from Germany. Aren't they having a good time there? They're all smiles. You can tell that these guys really get along. No hard feelings in this band. From France, Won't Get Fooled Again. And the B-side listed as just Don't Know Myself. Shortened, I guess, for the French market. Here's the US edition with the full title of the B-side, I Don't Even Know Myself. And that's Won't Get Fooled Again, cut down to 3 minutes 37. And then we get into that interesting sort of post Who's Next period. Let's See Action, backed with When I Was a Boy. Still advertising Who's Next on the back, but they're getting into a kind of exploratory period when they were releasing a lot of singles, doing a lot of sonic experimentation, but not yet ready for another album for another couple of years. Here's Let's See Action again, and When I Was a Boy, this time from France. Not sure if I mentioned the other one was from Germany. And that sonic experimentation really came out and joined together. They were just coming out with singles that had really bizarre sounds on them. Joined Together started with that, the low-pitched harmonica and the twanging Jew's harp. So here we have a German copy of Joined Together with the live Baby Don't You Do It on the B-side. And again, on Relay, they had that sample and hold electronic sound that was so arresting when you heard it, because that was such a bizarre thing to hear on the radio in 1972, I think it was, when this came out. This is a German copy of Relay with the B-side, the extremely silly Wasp Man. Another Relay from Holland this time. And on the back of this, it's a classic shot of the Who on the front and on the back. They promote not only Who's Next, but the solo albums of the time from Pete Townshend and John Entwistle. And one more Relay, this time from Belgium. And it's another of those fold-over paper sleeves. And a kind of not even professional looking live shot for the sleeve, same on both sides. The disc itself was a British pressing for import, so it has the Belgian publishing information on it, but it's actually a UK pressing. And now we get to the Quadrophenia period and the single of 515. This again is from Belgium, only a proper picture sleeve this time. It's with just one opening and not three for the record to fall out of. Track Records. With the excellent non-LP B-side Water. And here's the same single from Holland, 515 backed with Water. And if you remember the movie The Kids Are All Right, you'll recognize this scene. That appeared in one of the interview sequences. Again, this band doesn't have any issues at all, you can tell. And promoting the album on the back. And this version of 515 is a later edition. You notice the B-side is not Water, but another Quadrophenia track, I'm One. This one was released not to promote the original Quadrophenia album, but the movie and the soundtrack of Quadrophenia that was from 1979, I think. And this is a German copy. As is this German copy of Who Are You, with Had Enough on the back. Same picture on the other side, except you'll notice they switched the order of the song titles. So the back has the B-side listed first. And we fast forward to the post-Keith Moon era. And this is a British copy, You Better You Bet. And finally, from the last of the original Who albums before the reunion projects, Athena. This is a US pressing. I got to see The Who in concert twice in my life. First time being in 1971, after they had released both Who's Next and Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy. I always thought that was kind of a ballsy move, that they put out such a monster album as Who's Next, a real blockbuster, and long awaited because they hadn't had a studio album out since Tommy. And they followed up 2 months later with another release. But the strategy worked because they were both big hit albums. Who's Next went to number 4 at the time. A little hard to believe in retrospect it didn't go to number 1, but that was where it went. And Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy scored number 11 on the US charts. The second time I saw The Who was in 1980, after Keith Moon had died and also after the Cincinnati tragedy. So one thing that was notable about that concert was that everybody kind of had that tragedy in the back of their minds, where people had just crushed one another, stampeded over one another, and everyone was being very careful and watching where they were walking when they were out in the lobby. And it's not as if there was going to be any kind of happening as there was in Cincinnati. This was San Diego in the summertime. Cincinnati, they were freezing cold and desperate to get into the hall. The other notable thing, non-musical thing about the concert was that it smelled like a brush fire in that place. I think everybody had the worst weed at that concert that's ever been smoked. Pretty decent show, though. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back with some more, probably more oddball stuff to show you. And until then, thank you, be well, and talk to you again soon.